and welcome back to How We Keep the Art Alive. This is our segment produced by Tenacious Theatrics, where we celebrate the artists who are keeping their art alive in their own communities, in their home states, or wherever they are in the world. We have very exciting talent to talk to tonight, and we're going to go ahead and get started with Kaitlin Harbin. Hi, Kaitlin.
Hi.
It's so nice and refreshing to be able to talk to you, especially because I think you have been like the Tenacious Theatrics, like, how do I explain this? You've just been there for everything. And even though we haven't worked together, it's like you still are a part of the family. You're so close to us because you're just an amazing person. And I can't wait for you to audition for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, absolutely. Right? Yes, absolutely. Working on the audition video this week, so we're good there. But I've actually just had so much fun, like, following your journey, because I feel like, you know, from the start to now, it's been so kind of fast and crazy, and the shows are amazing, so...
Yeah, well, I'm really glad that, you know, you keep sticking around because we're going to get you cast. I promise. Everybody, you heard it here first. Kaitlin is going to be in our Crazy Ex-Girlfriend cabaret, whether she likes it or not.
Now you all have heard it, so you have to...
You all heard it, so now it's... Yeah, now it's fact. So, of course, we're very excited about that. So, just tell our audiences a little bit about you and your background and what you've been doing the last couple months, or the past year, I should say.
Yeah, so I'm Kaitlin. I'm 23, and right now I am living in my home state of Maryland. Before that, I had just graduated from Rockford University with my BFA in musical theater in 2019, and I got to move to New York City for 6 beautiful months until the pandemic hit. So me and my boyfriend had to move back to my home state, which has been, you know, it could be worse, but rough. And yeah, we've just been working here. I'm a nanny right now, which is amazing for me. I love it. And yeah, I kind of started my own virtual cabaret thing that I've been doing, which has been really fun, and I've done a lot of virtual choirs and lots of virtual performances throughout the community. So I've had a lot of fun being able to figure out what this technological world is with theater.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about the cabaret company that you started.
Yeah, so in April I started with just a virtual choir I put together with a bunch of my friends. And the Southern Maryland area was really very sweet about it. They were very kind, and we got to be on the news for it and stuff, which was really cool. So then from there, I thought it might be easier to just do virtual cabarets where we each have our own solos. So the first one I did was Something to Watch Other Than Netflix, which was so fun. And I had all the performers who had lost their jobs due to COVID and were in college and couldn't perform at the time and needed some extra money. So we did a virtual tip jar. And from there, I've done 7 virtual cabarets. The last one was in December. We did a virtual holiday show, which was so fun. But, you know, with the holidays around, I needed a little break. So we don't have any upcoming shows right now, but there will be in the future.
Yeah, I think the first show that you did, that I saw at least, was, I don't remember what the name of it was, but you were doing Damn It, Janet with your boyfriend.
Oh, yes.
And that's how I actually got to know Austin, and that's how we casted him in Rocky Horror, just because of that video. And you were, again, I feel so terrible because you always get so close, and then it's like, oh no. But like I said, you're going to be in the next show, so it'll all be okay. But just, you know, I had meetings with Mackenzie all throughout that casting week of like, we can make this work. Maybe like having both of them on screen together is great. And then, you know, the things happened the way they did. And, but it was still very enjoyable to watch the Christmas cabaret that you did. That was so much fun. I remember watching it in my living room like, oh, look, there they are. And then that's actually how I got to know Macy, who is playing Crystal in Little Shop of Horrors online cabaret. So it's all just, again, this like overwhelming theme of this person knows this person and we're all meeting and we all know each other. I think it's absolutely crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, with the virtual stuff, that's how, I mean, I feel the same way. I keep running into people and doing different virtual companies and being like, oh, hey, I saw you in this. So it's been really interesting to see what a small world theater really is.
Yeah, and then also with producing virtual shows, you're also doing a lot of virtual shows too, right?
Oh yeah, all the time. And when I'm not doing my own shows, I've been doing virtual productions for other cabaret companies in the Southern Maryland area, and for community theaters and some churches that want to do virtual choirs and stuff. So been keeping a little busy.
And how did you get involved with Drawing Cats Productions, comedy cabaret?
I actually found them on Backstage, which is where I've been finding a lot of my virtual opportunities lately. It's awesome because they have a work from home like tab, you know what I mean? So it's been super easy, and everyone I've gotten to work with has been awesome. And it's so cool to see how creative everyone can be, because we don't have the same means we normally do. So it's been really awesome because I didn't think we could do all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the Tenacious Theatrics kind of just came out of nowhere, like I didn't think that I was going to be sitting in an apartment working on, online cabarets like a year ago. It's all kind of just happened all so fast, and it's a blessing, but it's also like, wow, there's so much to do. There's so much that can be done to make these shows really awesome. The reason why I mention Drawing Cats Productions is because our Oren, who was in a previous episode, was in that cabaret with you. And that's how, actually seeing Austin's post about it and then seeing both of you in that, I was like, whoa, that's cool. They're working together in a show.
That's why I was like, wait a second, Austin, do you know this guy? And he was like, yeah, he's from this. And I was like, man, we're going to know everybody by the end of this.
Seriously. And there was also, just to, do another one of those, like, oh, this person knows this person. There was a person in the cast named Courtney Slowick, who was in that show, and she auditioned for Little Shop. So I also knew her, and I watched her. I was like, oh yeah, there you go. What a talent. It's just, I think it's absolutely bonkers, this whole virtual world right now. So Kaitlin, you have something to present to us tonight?
Yes, I will be singing a song from Freaky Friday, No More Fear.
All right, are you ready to sing?
Ready as I'll ever be. How long has it been since this old heart has skipped a beat? How long have I kept an even keel? How hard have I worked to keep our lives so calm and neat? And how good does this freaking chaos feel? 'Cause I don't have the first idea what else may be in store, but I know I won't be frightened anymore. No more fear, no more fright. I go big or I go home. It starts tonight. Oh God, have I taught my daughter to be cautious at all costs? Have I made her somehow be afraid? Have I held too tightly after all we both have lost? And how do I clean up this mess I've made? 'Cause clearly I can't promise things will all turn out okay. So here's the most important thing I'll say. No more fear, no more dread. No more dwelling on the danger. We'll dare to live instead. No more sadness, not one tear. We'll be tough and tough together. No more fear. No more shyness or embarrassment, no dividends, no doubt. That's self-consciousness and anxiousness. Just throw that stuff right out. 'Cause I thought I taught you manners, but I may have made you meek. And a girl can be a good girl without ever being weak. If you have to fight, then fight, and I'll be the first to cheer. No more waiting, no more hiding. Are we clear? No more fear. No more fear.
What? Oh my God. The thing I love so much about your voice, Caitlin, is that you have so much power. I don't think I've ever heard someone. Well, I mean, I'm sure I have, but you remind me just so much of just like, ah,
Thank you so much. That is like so kind, honestly. Thank you. You've always been just so supportive of all this, which is why I keep coming back, because it's just been so much fun to even audition and get to talk with you.
I mean, you're just fantastic. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Rocky was an unfortunate situation. Little Shop was, we only could cast 10 people, but I know for he's listening. You are gonna get cast in our next show because there are so many things. Are you familiar with Crazy Ex-Girlfriend? Have you watched it?
Yeah, I actually have. It was kind of random. I had just found it before you had mentioned that to me a few months ago.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched it, I think, like 4 times now. I absolutely love the show. And, oh God, her name's not Rebecca Bunch. It's, oh no, Rachel Bloom. Sorry, Rachel Bloom. She has so much power behind her voice too, which is why I was like, the first thing I thought was, oh yeah, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend would work so well with Kaitlin. So, I'm excited to hear what your song choice is. Can you give me a little sneak peek, or are you gonna keep me hanging?
Oh, I will keep you hanging because I have like a list and I'm not sure which one I want to send yet because I love all the songs so much.
Send them all.
Yeah, why not? You have time.
Oh my gosh. Kaitlin, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any last things you'd like to mention or say?
Well, thanks for having me, first of all. And other than that, you can check out my website, KaitlinAHarbin.com. I have a few announcements coming up that aren't finalized, so they'll be there within the next couple weeks.
Excellent. All right. Thanks so much, Kaitlin.
Thank you.
Sweet. So next up, we have a very dear friend, McKenna Lyons. Hi, McKenna.
Hello, nice to see you.
How are you doing?
I am doing great, actually, given the circumstances of this crazy year we've had.
Yeah, and given the circumstances of today, having you join literally like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I was actually out in Pooler, like half an hour away, and I got the call from you, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I like raced home, put some makeup on, just excited to be here to talk to you.
I do appreciate you rushing home for that. I think the last time I was in Pooler was when I was in college, I think. After I graduated, I was still in Savannah. So McKenna and I were in Savannah at the same time when did you move to Savannah?
I moved to Savannah in fall of 2016, and then that's when we did Rocky. I kind of just like literally fell right into the lap of Savannah theater.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, so we the way we met was in 2016 we did Rocky Horror, the live show, not an online show. It was the live show at the Bay Street Theater. And McKenna played Magenta and I played Riff Raff, reprising my role as Riff Raff right before I left Savannah. And that was directed by Val, who played our featured solo in our online cabaret, and it was so much fun. That production was so much fun.
It was so fun, and I don't have a degree in theater, unlike many of the people I think that have been on this show. So it was kind of an unexpected turn of events for me. I moved to Savannah to pursue a career in marine science education, which is what my degree is in. And this like always comes up because I do a lot of like theater things and I'm like talking to theater people and they're like, oh, tell me about yourself. Where'd you go to school? I'm like, well, I'm a scientist. But yeah, so doing Rocky Horror kind of just like opened that door for me. And I had done stuff in elementary and middle school and high school because I come from a fairly creative, artistic family. We've always kind of been very music and theater oriented, and it was just nice to be able to rediscover that part of myself.
Yeah, I mean, you did such a fantastic job. Everyone loved working with you. Everyone loved watching you perform. I remember that crazy spaceship riff. That's hard to say. Spaceship riff that you did. Oh God, I sometimes watch that production over and over again, just like, yeah, that was good memories.
I do too. Oh my God. I love going back and just like watching old shows, and I loved playing opposite of you because you were like an experienced Rocky Horror and theater person, and you were just so encouraging and really pumped me up. I appreciated it.
Glad I could be there for you like in that way. So now since that happened, I know that you got really involved with Savannah Rep. Is that right?
Savannah Stage Company.
Stage Company. There's so many Savannah theaters now. It's crazy. Yeah, Savannah Stage Company, right. So you were doing a lot of improv and you were doing a couple shows with them, right?
Yeah, I got in with Savannah Stage Company pretty soon after I did Rocky Horror with you, and I was not prepared for the depths to which I would become involved with them. I've kind of just been riding with them for the past 4 years. I've served as an actor, stage manager, props designer. What else? Most recently, we did a virtual Alice in Wonderland. Our company member, Lexi Ambrose, she adapted the show, and they asked me to be a composer and a music director, which I had never done before. Like I said, I come from a pretty like musically inclined family. My brother has a master's in music education. All of my younger sisters have done a lot of music things, and I feel like I'm kind of the black sheep there because I've never like been professionally trained in music or like have learned how to read music properly. So when they asked me to compose, I was very hesitant, but I said yes because I like saying yes to things like that, and it was a lot of fun. I pretty much just composed on like GarageBand and created tracks on there, and it was just teaching the cast through like repetition and listening because that's all that I could do, but it worked out and it was so much fun, and now I can say that I'm a music composer.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Is there a way that people who didn't get to watch it when it aired, is there a way that we can watch it now?
It was like a one-time only live stream. I think you can go to the website, savannahstagecompany.com, and you can find the Alice in Wonderland tab, and we're selling it more as like a virtual field trip to schools. But I mean, it's a pay what you can thing. So if you really, really want to see it and you've got like 10 extra bucks, you can be like, hey, I want to watch this.
Awesome. So that's all just on the website then. We can watch it. Oh, that's so cool. Excellent. So I remember you telling me about the whole marine biology thing and you coming in to do that. I feel like there's some kind of training that you had because when you came in, at least when I met you, you already had a lot of musical experience already. At least it seemed to me like you did.
Well, I guess I could say like I've been self-taught. Well, okay. I was in choir in high school for 1 year, and we did like a little bit of music theory there. I was in marching band in college, and I was on the drum line actually. I had never done drum line, and they asked me to do drum line for a couple years. So that helped a little bit. And then I just do a lot of singing on my own time. I like to jam in the car. Whenever my roommate leaves, I will sing lots of show tune karaoke. So that's my training.
Okay, so then it's just natural talent then. Okay, I get it now. Natural talent. I remember when I was living in New York, I saw that Savannah Stage Company came out with that music video, Savannah, and that you were the star of for that. What was that like parodying something? Because I've never really, like, I love like Weird Al Yankovic, so I love parodies, but I've never been able to really create a parody of my own. So I know that you like wrote that, right? Or you wrote the parody for that, right?
I did. That was a big undertaking. I don't remember how I initially got the idea to do it, but I was working on building Savannah Stage Company's YouTube channel. And so I was doing this series called Mondays with McKenna that lasted for a year. And I think I just heard the song Havana one day and I was like, you can so easily fit Savannah in here. And I decided it would be a fun thing to try to create a parody video. Wrote the lyrics pretty easily. I was in charge of producing the whole thing too, so I had to rally everybody and be like, hey, we're going to the beach to film today. I hope you're ready. It was so much editing. I like video editing, but there's a point where I'm sure you know this, you reach a point in the project where you're just like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. And I reached that point a couple times. But it ended up going really well. I was so happy with it, and it was just a lot of fun to create and film. That's usually where I go, when I think about creating things, is just how much fun can I have and how stupid and funny can I make this?
I mean, it was great. I think it was an excellent parody. So now you have writing, filming, editing, producing, and music composition, and singing and acting all under your belt.
Yeah, I brought up my resume.
There you go. Just That's awesome. So what is next for McKenna?
Next is more work with Savannah Stage Company, and maybe with Tenacious in the future. I know you've been sending me those crazy ex-girlfriend posts.
Yeah.
But for Savannah Stage Company, we've got Julius Caesar coming up. We're doing an all-teen cast, which is something we've never done. And I'm just going to be doing props and camera op for that. But what I'm really excited about is in the fall, we are coming back to live theater. We're going to be doing Dracula outdoors. And I'm going to play Renfield, who is the insane asylum inmate. They made Renfield a female in this version of Dracula, and Dracula is also going to be a female. We're going very sexy, lesbian, female driven for this show, and I'm just...
Wow. And when does that go up?
Huh?
When does that go up?
The last 2 weeks of October, so it's going to be a Halloween time show.
Wow. And wait, okay, does Savannah Stage Company have their own space?
We don't. We have been described before as a roving band of mischievous talent, which our artistic director absolutely loves. We go where we can, and we find places that will have us. We do a lot of touring to schools. We've played at wedding venues, breweries. Dracula is going to be outdoors at a place called the Stables, which is kind of like a print shop, combo warehouse. They do a lot of events there, so...
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. I do definitely want to take a trip down to Savannah sometime soon. I have a lot of stuff in the storage unit, so I do want to be able to see. I think when things start to open up, we'll feel more comfortable going down, and then maybe catch one of those shows down there. That'd be so awesome.
That would be so awesome. I would love to see you.
Yeah. McKenna, do you have anything else you'd like to add before we go?
No, just thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was so great to talk to you. We have to, yes, please audition for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm sure we'll find a song for you somewhere.
You got it.
Awesome. All right, so last but not least, we have Candice Burridge. Candice is a very special artist with us today. Candice is working on our shadow puppetry for our Little Shop of Horrors online cabaret. Hi, Candice. Let's say hi first.
Hello, Leonard.
So we've been talking every single week for the last, 2 months now?
Since the beginning of January.
January, yeah. So, yeah, oh my God, almost 5 months. We've been working so hard on this project. So Candice and I have actually never met in person, but we worked at the same puppetry place called the Swedish Cottage Marionette Theater in Central Park in New York. And I guess I was there after you left, right?
Yes. I left almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, so yeah, I came in 18 or 19. No, 19.
But I worked at the Swedish Cottage for 11 years.
Yeah, and
It was
love
wonderful.
that place. It's so awesome. I never had any prior marionette experience, and so when I went to go audition, and I was like, I don't really know how to work these things. Bruce, the head honcho there, is like, oh, just do it like this, and he trained me and got the job. And then I worked one show, and then I got to voice over for one show, and then the pandemic hit, and then I got laid off. So that
Sorry
was
about that.
But again, enough about me. Tell me more and tell the audience a little bit more about you and what your upbringing was and how you got into this, your industry.
How I got into Little Shop of Horrors?
Puppetry, art, just anything, where
Okay.
you are now, how you got to where you are.
Oh boy. I went to University of Connecticut. So I actually have a degree from the Frank Ballard School of Puppetry. And after I graduated, I did what most theater people do if they want to work, and I went to New York City. I also did what most theater people do, is I worked 3 or 4 jobs, mostly like bartending and Broadway ushering. Hey, hey. Good old Theater for the New City concession stand. And then I went broke, like most artists.
You have the whole...
I do!
The whole
I'm the quintessential broken artist, like poor artist story. So now I moved out to Connecticut, and I'm doing solar for a living, which is far more lucrative than puppetry. But I'm dedicated to the art. So I'm on the board of directors of the East Lyme Puppetry Project, LP for short. So we're trying to develop our own first show. I didn't write it. It was written by Dick Waterman, who is a 93-year-old history teacher who loves puppets, and that's why he's my awesome partner in crime. So if the story, still debating the title, don't like what they have right now. The Secret, because it's too vague. But it's about the first submarine ever created during the Revolutionary War to fight the British. And it was made locally right here in Old Saybrook. So the whole area of Connecticut is now the submarine capital of the world. So
Wow.
that's I know, right? What you don't know about New London County, Connecticut. I've got some friends from the play. These I did not make. These are were because of the pandemic. We didn't need to make them big anymore because they don't have to be seen from a distance. So I'm like, let's make them little and affordable. But before we made them smaller and more affordable to make, these were created by Dan Butterworth. This is Nathan Hale. He is basically like Connecticut's state hero. He said he was hanged by the British, and for being a spy. And he said, "I regret that I have but one life to give to my country." And then, sorry, I have to. They won't let me hang him in the show. So upset. I'm like, why are we gonna have Nathan Hale on the show if we're not gonna hang the puppet? Like, it's for children, Candice. Like, it's history. This one, also made by Dan. She's gorgeous. Was supposed to be Elizabeth Lee, and poor Elizabeth got cut from this. Ah, her hair.
It's off.
I gotta fix that. But yeah, Elizabeth got cut from the play. But she was an ancestor, or no, the daughter of one of the guys who was super involved in the turtle. This is the size we're dealing with now, so I brought out, the first thing you do when you make a marionette is you gotta do, like, scale designs. So, we went from that big to this big. And instead of doing it in, like a Swedish Cottage traveling stage type theater size, we're doing it in a toy theater. Which I think is neat. And these are...
What is a toy theater? Can you explain what that is?
A toy theater is literally a toy it was very popular in Victorian times, got popular again in the 50s, and it's literally a tiny stage with little curtains, and the characters and the set pieces all slide back and forth on tracks.
Oh, so at the cottage we had set pieces that slid, but now we're
That is
talking
also
about...
inspired by Toy Theater.
Yeah,
Except we did it on a big scale. So what I'm doing is the opposite, is I'm taking the Toy Theater, keeping it Toy Theater size, and just making the marionettes fit.
Cool. And then is it going to be filmed? Is that why you're making it toy size?
We definitely want to film it, but at some point, we're trying to prepare for a live audience as well. So we have a lot of guest art puppet companies that would come out and perform for us. So that's something that we're trying to get back into, but we can't have audiences. So hey, let's build stuff.
Not yet. We can't have audiences yet. We're hopeful.
Right.
That is so cool. So I know, just working at the cottage, just seeing the intricacies of all the clothing. So you were starting to explain that you start with the scale, right?
Oh, the bag of body parts. Yeah. It's like the best profession ever. It's like limbs and arms all hanging all over These are all body parts that have already been sculpted for George Washington, by the way. He's bald. We have a great costumer. I wish I could show you Sarah's artwork for the costuming, but she has 4 marionettes at her place that she's in the process of costuming, and we haven't gotten them back yet, but literally, I lucked out so bad. She's a historical costumer. And of course, Corinne Koza, who couldn't make it tonight, Corinne Bichon, is making all of the marionettes with me for LP. She's a better sculptor than me, so I let her do the heads. And then we string them, paint them, pass them off to Sarah. She decorates them with the clothing. I have lots and lots of photographs of it looks like they're sunbathing naked, but it's really just the paint drying before they go to the costumer. Especially love the butt shots. Corinne got a little obsessed with Nathan Hale because it's our state hero, and he's from Coventry, Connecticut, where she and I grew up. So she put nipples on Nathan and chest hair. Okay. Yep, she got into it.
I find puppetry just so fascinating. I always loved puppetry when I was in high school. I think is when I started really getting into it. And then it wasn't until I think after college I took a puppetry for musical theater class with Leanne Brunn in New York. And she was a real treat to work with. And then that's how I kind of got introduced to the cottage too. It was just I want to work more in puppetry. And I think it's such an amazing art. And it's not just now just actually manipulating the puppets. It's also creating the puppets too is so intricate. It's so detailed. And, the last 5 months that we've been working together and the process in which you and Corinne work is so fascinating to me that you guys are... it's not just we'll build it. It's no, how do we build it? How do we get it to scale? How do we get all the details in there? So I just kudos to you and Corinne for what you do.
It's fun. One of the things the pandemic did change is I did not have a puppet workshop in my home until the pandemic started. And then I transferred half of my basement into a functioning workshop.
And it's awesome. Just seeing the pictures of it is just fantastic. It's so cool seeing all of your stuff up on your wall and having small marionettes pinned up against it too. It's so cool to see.
I also have some shadow puppet previews.
Yes, for Little Shop again.
Smaller Audrey too. And I haven't finished putting it together. She's going to have teeth. He is going to have teeth.
As I mentioned, Candice is working on our shadow puppets for Little Shop of Horrors. So, yeah, she just showed, that's our Audrey too. Do you have some other puppets to show as well?
I do. Yeah, this is Orin. The rods are still drying. But he's got a moving leg and a moving arm. And the moving arm is especially slappy. Slappy, slappy, slappy. Wait, that's a terrible angle. I get really silly when it comes to actually playing with them. Building them, I'm all like calm and stoic. And then when it's playtime, I'm like, just over the top. I can't. It's like the other side. It's like two sides of the Gemini. There's the quiet, meticulous, mad genius artist, and then there's the like playtime one that's just like, yeah, we're dolls.
It's so awesome. We have had such a treat just watching you build these puppets.
This is Corinne's favorite Mr. Mushnik. Thank you. I'm sorry. You know how much I love to show off my.
Oh yeah.
And Mr. Mushnik's like commanding finger.
his pointy finger. We love it. We love the pointy finger.
Yeah, he's just got such a wonderful profile. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so how we were able to get these puppets, what is that called? Made? I don't know. I can't think of a better word. We had all our actors from the show take profile shots so that we can get this very nice profile. And again, Candice is doing all these really nice little details. The puppets look exactly like how the actors look in the show. So it's fascinating. It's fascinating. That's all I could say about it. It's fascinating.
And then, you haven't seen Audrey with the hair yet. I'm still experimenting. But I put the hair curls on there. It's a little wild.
And you used ribbon for that, right?
I did use ribbon. I curled the ribbon. I might take it off and redo it. This one came out almost just like I wanted it, where the curls, it's like little bouncy 50s curls at the bottom, you know?
Yeah.
And on the shadow screen, it doesn't have a ton of movement, but it's fun.
Yeah, fun is good. And you matched her hair color. That's great.
Well, one of them's yellow and the other one's orange, just because I had two different colors of ribbon. It won't translate on the shadow screen anyway. It's just going to be black and white.
Right.
And then I came up with the nice symbol. This is extra I got to cut off, but I put the little stops because she's wearing a tight skirt, so her leg can't go too far.
Right.
So the stop, that's all she could move, because that's all a woman in a dress like that could move anyway.
Right.
And for that dress, I mean, that scene at least, she's not moving too much anyway, so.
It's going to be like, that's about it.
Well, it's so wonderful. Candice, anything else you'd like to share just before we hop off?
Yeah, there is. Sarah's a teacher, the one who does the costumes for LP, and I've done a couple of times where I've jumped in with her art class and talked to the kids, and I just want to emphasize that, like, artists that are like teaching artists right now have the most like important job ever, because it's showing this generation that kind of got royally screwed in their teenage years some kind of outlet for all that. I don't know, if it was me, I'd be angry. Or depressed, who knows. But, just giving them that creative outlet and helping them. So I just wanted to say bravo to all teaching artists out there.
Yes, I agree. It's so important. I mean, teachers just in general, it's hard to be the person to be like, hey, it's okay, things are gonna get better. But especially with art, to have that escape and to show the kids that, hey, there's something really fun you can, spend your time doing, and it's not just all this terrible time. It's really appreciated for the work that you do and all that teaching artists do as well.
Well, that's also, sorry to interrupt you, but that's really the thing too, is like I think for everybody here, it's really the art itself is our outlet of a way to handle the pandemic. Because until I decided to put my blinders on and just go art nuts, I was miserable. And now I'm not.
Yeah. It's good. It's good not to be miserable.
I mean, the art helps. The art, that was my way of processing. That was my way of getting my head in a creative place instead of a mindset of scarcity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, Candice, thank you so much for showing us all the little sneak previews.
Yeah, thank you. It was my pleasure.
Yeah. And of course, you can see all the finished products in our Little Shop of Horrors online cabaret that is streaming May 16th to the 23rd. We're very, very excited. You can see our website, tenacioustheatrics.com, for all the other information. If you'd like to watch previous episodes of How We Keep the Art Alive, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, or it's also on our website under projects. And then How We Keep the Art Alive, there's a whole page dedicated to all of the episodes that we've done so far. And we are getting nearer to the season end of our first season of the show, because I think we're just going to break it up into seasons and not just have boom, 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 boom. It'll be too much of a headache for me too. But please stay tuned. Keep a lookout on our website. Again, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend Cabaret, online cabaret auditions are happening now, so please audition. And other than that, we will see you on the next episode.